But if I have another bad night like tonight, I am dropping it. All right? I have to play games that people are going to show up, engage, and support with. Tonight, attendance was okay, not great. Engagement, I would argue, was good. Support was horrible. Urban style individual.
What's up with y'all? Hopefully this video finds you in good spirits, and if not, well, at least you not DSP. And we all know that Phil did not hit the goal for the Ninja Gaiden stream. And we also know what comes with that. An impromptu business meeting. So this is what the daily wrap is going to be. And I'm sure his so-called level 1 podcast will be more of the same, because Phil believes that he should start pushing games out of his repertoire, when I believe that will be that's going to be the detriment and the final nail in the coffin for DSP Gaming. But we'll see what happens. Let's get into the video.
How did the stream go? Well, let me tell you this. Attendance on Kick was standard. Attendance on YouTube was a little on the lower side, not horribly lower, but it actually had less than 200 viewers all night. That is a little weird. We've had more than that for Ninja Gaiden before. Support was abysmal.
Look at his face. And if you look closely, you can actually see his man boobs through this shirt. Phil, you should probably try a different shirt to try to cover and hide your man boobs, because this one is not working. But back to why we're here. He is crying. Now, he made about $50 or whatever it was, which is about a third of the way to his so-called arbitrary goal. But the key to all of this is how much he made on the wing stream prior to playing Ninja Gaiden. Didn't he make like $300 or $400? But here he is complaining and calling what he did get from his fans abysmal. Just think about that.
As an abysmally bad. We only raised $50 tonight. Or maybe it was like 55 or something like that. That's it. And I don't know why. It wasn't like people were saying, wow, the game sucks. It wasn't like people were saying, wow, you suck. The gameplay's bad.
Now, I want y'all to remember that he said initially that he does not know why. Pay attention.
No one seemed to be disliking the stream. The stream chats were moving and talking. It's not like people were disengaged and not paying attention. That wasn't the case. Just almost no support tonight. Now, what I did notice is that on the YouTube side, there was an insane amount of trolling. This one moron came in with 700, 800 sock accounts, which he tends to do. And he just kept acting like an asshole. And then on the Kick side, what happened was, for the last week, people have been telling me something about Kick. They said, so when you first enabled the moral support stuff, meaning you watch the channel, you earn channel points, you can redeem the channel points to get a highlighted message on stream, and then you got rid of the messages because basically it was discovered that you could troll. You could actually get banned for trolling, but then you could still use these support points you had saved up when you were watching to still do these messages, and you could say horrible things, like awful things, doxing and racist things. And that's what was happening. So I said, I just got to turn the messages off, okay? So someone said today, well, actually, someone's been asking for like 3 days. They said, so Kick finally figured that out and fixed it. Now, if you're banned, you can't use your moral support anymore. Therefore, it's safe to re-enable those messages. So for like 3 days, this person's been bothering me about it. Finally, earlier today, I said, fine, I'll just turn it on. So I did. Tonight, everyone's like, oh, that's moral support. And everyone's like, moral support, but no real support.
See, I let that play out because I wanted you to see what Phil views as quote unquote real support, which we already know this, right? But he'll forego viewership. He will forego engagement as long as he has money. Now, people get moral support from watching your channel, which means they're engaged. That's the only way they can accumulate the points or whatever it is necessary to have the moral support message, right? But for Phil, that's not good enough. You need to give him money every single time, every time. Or why else are you here, right?
We had like 1 or 2 people who actually did support tonight. A couple subs, some kicks, 2 super chats, maybe a small tip. That was it. And then everyone on Kick's like, oh, moral support. Ha, 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 look, we're helping Phil. No, you're not. No, you're not. You're helping yourself.
That 50-something bucks that you got was $50 more than you deserved. Because I don't care how much money has went through your fingers, Phil, you have not actually earned a single dollar. Not one. because you can't point to a single thing that you do that people actually need. And I'm not talking about 4 or 5 people that are in love with you. And as a side note, Ludwig World Order, if you don't know who that is, it's a YouTube detractor channel. He got way more subs than me, so you probably do know who he is. But he just posted a video of one of DSP's dents. And the interesting thing about that is every single time one of DSP's dents is discovered and we figure out who they are never normal people. Ever. It's and I'm just like, damn. Out of all the people that have watched you over the years, how come every time it comes out, there are always some damn weirdos and or predators? Why do you keep attracting these type of people, Phil?
A little party in there, basically. You know, oh, look at us. We have highlighted messages again. I could just turn it off. Because I think that's what it was. People just went, oh, let's troll Phil tonight, and we'll all use our highlighted messages, but no one will actually support his gameplay and his stream. Well, then I'm just going to fucking turn it off.
Then turn it off then. Nobody cares. You act like that's going to be something that's crazy detrimental to somebody, like you're doing something to them. Nobody cares. If anything, people will troll you for turning it off. We all know that you're sensitive and you hate when people tell you the truth and you love banning people. I would venture to guess that Phil's probably banned more people on YouTube than any creator in YouTube history, man. That boy is quick on that ban finger, man. You don't play around.
So I'm honest. I'm being honest with you. The next time if I see a kick stream like that, where people are acting like that, and there's no support at all besides moral support, I'm just going to turn off the messages again.
See, look at Daddy Phil. If you don't do what I say, when I say, I'm just going to cut it off. Phil, you might as well just cross your arms and gnash your teeth after you did that. Nobody cares about you. Nobody cares about you cutting off Kick, man. Every single week is the same song and dance with you. You talking about how Kick is not engaged, how you're not getting money from Kick. And here you are again talking about another element of Kick. They don't like you. It's that simple.
Because I did something nice for people on Kick today. I turned them back on. And then people didn't do anything nice for me. They basically screwed me. So I don't like that attitude. That's a bad attitude for them over there. And I think they know it too. I think that a lot of the Kick viewers tonight were doing it on purpose. As we know, a lot of the people who watch me on Kick are holdovers from the Kino Casino days, and they sit around to troll, and I get it. But at the same time, I can't just have an entire night that's a bum night because you want to fuck around.
So are you saying that the typical dents that generally support you decided that tonight they were not going to give you money because people on Kick were trolling? Does that make any sense to anybody here? Aren't people on Kick trolling all the time? This is something that you talk about on a regular basis. That is not impeding the process of your dents giving you money, Phil. So you need to come up with a different excuse.
All right. Now, on the flip side of that, yeah, on the YouTube side, there wasn't a ton of support either. There was a few super chats here or there, a couple small tips. It wasn't an overabundant night. Was it just a one-off bad night? It might have been, because that happens with some of these games. You know, previously, Ninja Gaiden 4 has done pretty good. So maybe this was just a bad night. Who knows, right?
See, this is a huge problem for Phil because Phil needs money constantly coming in, because how else is he going to support that gambling addiction? Now, for a normal person or a normal streamer, if they made $300 or $400 that earlier this same day, when the night stream came and they only made $50, they probably wouldn't even mentioned it. In fact, I know they wouldn't have mentioned it. But Phil was $100 short of his goal, and here he is complaining. So you cannot tell me or anyone else that you're not spending money on these mobile games, because that's the bill that's most pressing for you, because that's the bill that needs to be paid all the time. No other bill is coming daily like that, Phil.
The thing is, I'm still doing well. I'm still making easy advancement in the game. Yeah, I die a couple times. The big boss I fought tonight kicked my ass a couple times. I had to restart and try to figure out exactly the timing to parry him and everything. But I'm doing good. And people are saying, yeah, it is a difficult game. And the fact that Phil's doing well is, you know, kind of crazy, because, you know, everyone thought I was just going to die nonstop. But no, I'm doing pretty good in the game. So I don't know. Is that it? Do people want to see you rage? I don't know. But here's the thing, and this is the direct comparison. All right? 3.5 hours of Pokemon, just chill interactions and hanging out with an audience with pretty much no stress, and I made an incredible amount of support and money. Tonight, I'm playing a game that's stressful, it's challenging, I do have to focus on the game the entire time. You know what I mean? Like, I am trying to do shout outs and talk, but it's hard because I got to pay attention. It's a hard game to get through, right? And I make $50, a third of my goal.
So what really are you saying though, Phil? Think about what you're saying here. You're saying that the people who are into you, because that's what it is, are only willing to support you when you can interact with them, aka talk to them, or aka make them feel like they can somehow approximate a relationship with you, because that's really what you're doing. The problem with that is you've said for the longest time that the reason why you are where you are is because you are a variety streamer. And I will give you that, because when you are playing multiple games, naturally, you're going to cast a bigger net. The problem with that is if you remove games from the equation, what else do you have, Phil, when things do not go the way you want them to go? What are you going to blame? And on top of that, every single time you try a new venture, it doesn't work. It might work initially, but it does not work. So let's say you transition out of games entirely and you just want to run your damn mouth. What happens when it stops working? Are you going to go back to games? You're not going to be able to do that. You know why? Because detractors are going to make that pathway so hard for you. And we know that the overwhelming majority of the things that you do and the decisions that you make are predicated on what the detractors think about what you're doing, right? So what I'm saying is when you shut the door for gaming, I don't think that's something that you'll be able to go back to. So you might want to think twice, because contrary to what you actually believe, I do think a lot of your dents are there to watch you play the game. Of course, they want to have something beyond that, but they also do want to see the game. Okay. You are misappropriating or misunderstanding the messaging that the dents are sending you. And what's going to end up happening is you're going to start the process of your career going down a lot quicker than it normally would, because we know you're creatively bankrupt. So what really are you going to do if you're not gaming, Phil? You don't have any interesting topics. You don't have any real world experience. So you can't really expound on things that happen outside of your doors. You can barely talk intelligently about the things that you do every day. This just doesn't make sense.
So obviously, I think we're starting to see the pattern, right? I am starting to see it. You're seeing it. Most action-based games aren't really cutting it anymore. There's some exceptions, but I do feel like it's about chilling rather than about freaking out, stressing out. People don't really want to see me do that anymore. I'm just saying, it just seems like that seems to be the case. Now here's the thing. Number one, I wasn't planning on doing Ninja Gaiden 4 again until next week because I have so much going on. We have a brand new release on Thursday, Mortal Kombat. We have the Halloween marathon on Friday. I am going to bring back Ninja Gaiden 4, but it's going to be next week. So maybe it's a good thing that we're giving it a break considering it didn't do well tonight support-wise. That's number one.
Look at all these weird ass feminine hand movements. What man do you know talks like this? Look at his wrist right now. What is this? Is this dent some type of dent sign language or something that we're not familiar with? Is this his encoding, his occult hand signals so he can put them under pig noses? What's going on, man?
Number two, I'm not going to just drop the game because it had one bad night. But if I have another bad night like tonight, I am dropping it. All right? I have to play games that people are going to show up, engage, and support with. Tonight, attendance was okay, not great. Engagement, I would argue, was good. Support was horrible. So if I'm not getting the things essential to a good stream, I'm not going to keep playing that game. I'll give it another shot. I'll write it off to it was just a bad night, or maybe people were just being stupid in Kick Chat. Let's see if it does well again next week. If it does, I'll keep it in the rotation. If I have another dead night, I'm done with this game because I'm already juggling so many games. Silk Song, Pokemon, American Truck Sim, Tormented Souls 2, Ninja Gaiden 4, Mortal Kombat's right around the corner. We got more coming. I need time. I need time to play the games people are liking. So if this is really just a game people don't like anymore, you think it's too boring and repetitive, so be it. Speak with your support, speak with your attendance, speak with your engagement. Then I know if you want it in the rotation. Let's see what happens next week. Okay?
Now, Dents, how long has he been playing Ninja Gaiden for? Now, we know that when Phil doesn't make money, he drops the game, right? So what is this? The fifth, sixth, seventh time, I don't know, that he's been playing this game. So we can venture to guess that he's made at least $150, because why else would the game still be in the rotation? So based on what I just said, we can surmise that he's made at least a couple $100, if not $1,000 on this game. And you can't even see the end of it unless you give him more money. And I've mentioned this before. How much money do you need, Phil, before you can lock in a playthrough and say, look, we're going to go from beginning to end, regardless if I don't make money on this stream or whatever. Y'all have already given me so much. The least I could do is finish this for you. But no, again, when he comes on here talking about support the stream, what he really should be saying is support my habits, because that's what's really going on. And that's what he's mad about, because he's beholden to these people, these clans, these guilds inside these mobile games, because he's terminally online. And that's the stuff he really cares about. This is why he gets in such a hissy fit when he doesn't get his money, because he feels like he's letting his buddies down. And I know that sounds bizarre and it sounds crazy, but we're talking about darksydephil here. You seen the Wings of Redemption collaboration just like I did. And he talked candidly about how he felt like he was beholden to strangers on the internet, so he was spending real world money to appease them. Something is wrong with this dude, and he hasn't had any intervention, any real therapy or a psychologist to break this cycle. He wants you to believe that he has the mental acuity and fortitude to break it on his own. And anybody who knows anything about addiction will tell you this is hogwash. You need people to come in and stop the process. And what's crazy about this whole thing is, for a lot of people, declaring bankruptcy, having to beg your parents for money, for many of us, that will be our rock bottom. We'll say, you know what, I got to do something different, man. This is crazy. Phil still has not hit the pit yet. He still has not hit rock bottom, regardless of how shameless he's been up until this point. Here he is still doing the same things that he always does. And I'm not on here trying to save a dent, okay? Because we know a lot of y'all are lost causes. But what I do want to say is, because a lot of y'all like to get things misconstrued, like the detractors are the enemy. The detractors are the enemy. No, the detractors are the enemy of who? Of who? What are we doing to Phil besides showcasing what he's doing to y'all? Because a lot of y'all lack the mental acuity to really figure out what he's doing to you. Phil is a high functioning version of y'all. Therefore, he can take advantage of y'all. And I think that's why a lot of y'all look up to him, because y'all feel like he's one of y'all that actually made it. Made it doing what though? Begging? Get out of here with that madness. That's all I got for y'all. Peace.
Urban style content. I'm dead.